Pew 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 pew. Fury. Welcome to Think About It Reviews. We are spoiling the movie Fury. It is directed by David Ayer, starring Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, and of course, you know him as Shane from The Walking Dead, and Michael Pena, and the guy from Perks of a Wallflower. So basically, let's just... this is a spoiler review, all right? This is a spoiler review because there's a lot to talk about in this film. Of this film, I went into it because I was looking forward to watching this movie because we haven't had a lot of war movies, and I was looking forward to watching this. Before I get to the negatives, let's get to the positives. The positives are being basically the cast is overall great. The cast performances are good, and yes, Shia LaBeouf is good in this movie. He's a lot better than from the Transformers movie and Lawless. He holds his own in this film. He's not on screen a ton, and which is great for a guy like Shia LaBeouf. But overall, the performances were great. Brad Pitt, once again, he shows you how much far he came. I mean, he was just known as a pretty boy, and now he's like one of the A-list actors of all time. He is a great actor, and he does shine again in this film. I thought I was going to get Inglourious Bastards out of him, Aldo, but I didn't. It was toned down. Brad Pitt did what he needed to do. He really convinced me. Brad Pitt was great in this film. And so was Michael Pena. Michael Pena, the problem is he doesn't get enough of screen time. I love Michael Pena. He did bring to the comedic relief when it needed it, when the tone was just too much. There was too much violence, too much death. He really brought that, a little smile to your face. And Michael Pena is very good at that. If you want to see Michael Pena perform, go watch End of Watch. And of course, Shane being Shane was basically being Shane. He was freaking insane. He was an insane guy, but he had a heart of gold, of course. And then the Perks of the Wallflower guy was okay. He was not too bad. He didn't outshine any of the actors. He was good for what the role required him basically to be. So the other positives, well, the tank fights are great. I'll get to the negatives in a little bit. Okay, just hear me out. The tank fights were great when you you kind of just try to watch the tank fights. It's so hard to talk about these without the negatives being involved. But the tank fights, the dog fights were great, especially the one where they were going one-on-one with the tank during the film. It was very intense. I was like really captivated by it. I was really into it. And what also was a positive in this film was the tank mechanics. We got to see how this tank is operated. We got to see Brad Pitt. It takes 5 guys to operate a tank. It takes 2 gunners, a guy loading the shells, and Shia LaBeouf aiming and shooting them. And of course, Brad Pitt's character basically he's the commander. He's telling Michael Pena's character, who is driving as well, to which way to direct the tank. And if you guys don't know, basically, I mean, you guys should have seen the trailers. It's basically a World War II film that deals with tank warfare, and we get thrust into it. We followed our Perks of the Wallflower guy character because he's enlisted in this Fury tank squad, and he's not a killer, he's not a soldier, he's actually a pencil pusher, and he gets assigned to this war, which you feel for the guy, but he has to learn real quick that, hey, you got to shoot Nazis or the Nazis are going to shoot you. And overall, like I said, the tank, I think I would have wished a little bit more of the inside of the tank, of the, camaraderie, the brotherhood of these cast members inside the tank and working these mechanics and dealing more of the tank. The tank was just the coolest part of the film. But you know what? It's hard to really talk about, the great action sequences that we got without focusing on the negatives of what, oh my God. I was watching the film, and basically this is me. Why? Why is this? What happened? What happened during the post production? What happened? What happened? Who's the special effects on this? Because I thought I was watching a Star Wars film because the bullets looked like freaking lasers. The special effects were horrible. Horrible. It was bad. For a major motion picture like this, and in the decade we're in, horrible. Jurassic Park is how many years old, and they had better special effects. This was bad. This was like video game bad. When the shells hit or there was explosions, it looked like fireworks. When you saw the bullets, I could have swore I saw we were the bad guys apparently because we were shooting red lasers while the Germans were shooting blue lasers. It was ridiculous. And then there was one part where there was smoke coming out that it looked so fake. The special effects in this film was terrible, terrible. And every time it came on, every time there was a dogfight between the tanks or an action sequence, it took me out of it. I couldn't keep watching it. I wanted the problem is I was really enjoying this film in the very beginning until we got the special effects. I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the characters. I was enjoying, them getting to know each other. But no, we got to the special effects and it just completely took me out of the whole movie. The whole movie, I wanted, it's sad to say, but I kind of wanted it to end early because I just couldn't deal with all these lasers that's being shoot everywhere. It was bad. It was so bad. And that's what hurts the film, which pains me. Because if you take all the special effects out and you give me proper effects, or even just going out the old-fashioned way and just doing it, doing just regular effects that they do, this film had so much potential and it was wasted. This was, I guess you could best really say about this film, it's, to wrap it all up, it's basically a failed attempt. The direction is great. David Ayer did a good job in direction. When the first opening sequence was really nice to see this, that horse come down, and then you see all the destruction from the tanks and stuff. The tone was set well. The pacing was actually well done until we hit the scene where where pretty much we get 15 minutes of the kid getting laid. I'm pretty sure you guys see it a different way, but for me, it was basically them doing a Saving Private Ryan, where, how everybody is just in Saving Private Ryan, they're just waiting for the Germans to come. They're telling stories, they're drinking coffee, they're listening to music. That was basically the Saving Private Ryan moment of this movie, was basically everybody went into the town, took out all these Germans, and they just run amok. Some were barbarians, some were like Shia LaBeouf reading, and then Brad Pitt and the Perks of the Wallflower guy met these two ladies, and they cooked them dinner, and then Perks of the Wallflower dude got laid, and then we got the other crew coming in, barging in, and acting like fools. That scene, it could have been cut down way shorter, or you could have just scrapped the whole thing at the end, because the girl dies right after they leave, and of course the one bomb that blows up everything is that building where the two girls are in. That was just, it was like, come on, it was cheap. It was just a cheap way to get you to feel emotion, and they had the corny music playing in the background. And there was one point where they shoot the guy, the German, who was hanging all the townspeople. They shoot him in this funky, they try to build up with this music, dun dun dun, but it didn't work. Those were the negatives in it. Like I said, if you take out the effects and a lot of the mistakes in this film, it's a well-directed, well-done film. It's a good film, but I can't give it a good film if you're going to have crappy effects, if you're going to try to get me to get emotional when it's kind of done cheaply a little bit, just kind of done giving me a shocking. It wasn't just handled very well. They attempted it and it was just a failed attempt. It just didn't work. overall, this film, like I said, I really wanted to love it, guys. I really wanted to. I did enjoy some aspects of the film. When I didn't get my special effects, I was enjoying the film. The acting is solid. It's a real shame that the effects didn't hold up, but hey, it takes a team effort, and this shows that hey, if you just because you're in special effects doesn't mean you're gonna slack off. But hey, there's a documentary out there that deals with all that and tells you what they go through. So I feel for them. But whoever was whoever was tasked for this project, either the studio wanted this rushed out, and they said, hey, the effects ain't done. Well, we don't. It doesn't matter. The release date needs to happen here. Put it out. I don't know what happened. It's just it boggles my mind how freaking the effects were so bad in this time. We're in 2014, and the effects were horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible. Oh, I just really, like I said, I enjoyed the film in the beginning. Took me out of it, but the special effects, but I got back into it. And then the ending, I don't know if you guys are going to like the ending or not. There was that big old, I enjoyed it with even though the effects, I enjoyed pretty much the Last Stand type of ending we got. And then, of course, Perks of a Wildflower guy, pretty much he goes underneath the tank, and it really shows that, hey, Germans, all the Germans were just not that bad. Some Germans, had to fight because, well, apparently it was a war. But, a lot of them were really, really bad. But, there were some out there that didn't really agree with the war that they were in. So, and I liked how they showed that at the very end where the guy let him go. Even though he saw Perks of the Wallflower guy underneath the tank, he let him go. And then, the death scenes, some of the kills were brutal, like the head coming off and stuff. The death scenes were, especially with the main characters, were Brad Pitt. I think the biggest death scene was probably Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf got a great death scene, just peeking out and just boom, right there, gone. So overall, this film, I can't recommend it, guys. I can't. I want to so bad, but I can't, because if they're not going to give me good special effects or, and take me out of the film, then why should I give you why should I recommend you this film when it's not giving me the best it could? Oh, just those special effects. Oh, I can't recommend this. All right. I don't recommend this film. There's other war films that are better than this. Overall, if you just want good characters, good acting, then yes, this film is for you. But if you want everything and you want the fights to really engage you and to be realistic, this is not for you. This is not for you. So I can't recommend it. But I do recommend, if you in Redbox or local stores, go ahead and check out We Were Soldiers, starring Mel Gibson. Really good movie about the Vietnam War. Solid movie, a lot of blood, a lot of emotion going on to it, and it really hits you. So that's a great movie to check out. And also Letters to Iwo Jima, another side about basically when we're fighting the Japanese and how their side of the story, because it's two ways, guys. It's our way, the American way, and then there's our enemy's way. And it's good to learn both sides of the war. And that is directed by Clint Eastwood. It's a great, solid film. I recommend both those films. So that's all I got. I mean, what did you guys think about Fury? Were you guys upset with the special effects? Let me know. And once again, man, until next time, go ahead and click that like button, comment below, and subscribe if you can. Please, I would really appreciate it. So grab a tick, grab a seat. Hopefully you got some good popcorn to eat. Enjoy the show. See you at the movies, guys.